Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And I adjusted my camera earlier, and now I'm like big. There we go. That's what we're after. Oh boy, what is happening here? Everything's in my way. How are you guys? How are you guys? I'm tired of this late and gay stuff when I'm on time. How dare you? This is slander. This is lies and slander. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope you are doing very, very well. Avoiding that Corona-chan despite all of her lusty, seductive ways. You must stay away. You must stay inside. Stay away from people. Just bring mace and Lysol with you and alternate spraying it in people's eyes when they come close. Back, Corona! Back! Get away, you harlot! Oh my goodness. Hey, what's up, Tug Raid? Tug Raid? We are here for another round of Ronversations. Don't worry, y'all. You can't get Corona watching Rekieta Law. Can't happen. All right. We've got the Milos. We've got, I have had Lyle Lovett's song. Sorry. Oh, God. I know that sounds old. It's not. I don't regularly listen to Lyle Lovett. I've had Lyle Lovett's song Private Conversation in my head all day, thinking about the stupid Ronversations. So. I know. That's like the oldest it could possibly get. No, it's not the sugar-free Milos. It's not the sugar-free Milos. One, they've been out of the sugar-free Milos at my Walmart. Two, the last one that I had. I shouldn't say the last one. The last batch that I bought tasted a little off. And so I've been dipping my toes and tongue into the red Milos for now. So, just a little lick into the Milos. Oh my goodness. So, hopefully by now you've all seen my Chup video that was up, went up today. Chup's election results, they are phenomenal. He did great. Very, very proud of Judge Chup, and he will do great on the appeals court. So you can go check out that video if you haven't. I apologize that it didn't go up yesterday. I was waiting on something and it didn't happen in time, so it had to go up today. But there's another video coming out tomorrow about Trump's lawsuit against CNN. So you can check that out. That'll be a little teaser. Also tomorrow, I will be continuing on as my cat girl, dragonkin, sorceress in the D&D 5th edition campaign that has been running on Inver's channel, Inverlock on Twitch. So if you want to come see me just fireball literally whatever I can manage to fireball, that's a fun thing. That's tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time on Twitch. The cat girl's name is Dakimakura. I don't know the proper pronunciation. Waifu Pillow. But come hang out with us. It's a fun time. And drink Fireball. That's disgusting. That is horrifying. So you can come hang out and watch that. I don't know. All the other ones have been fun for me. I don't know if they're fun for anybody else. I don't know. We don't really broadcast it for that particular reason. They're just we just broadcast it because don't you broadcast everything now? So, you know. Quote, if there's any girls there, I want to do them. That's how D&D goes. That's how D&D goes. I am going to open the night with a special drink. With a special drink. I just got this today. And it was from one of you guys. Let me get the name right on this. Oh, dang it. Oh, come on. Oh, I know how to find this. It was from Felipe. So, thank you, Felipe, for this. Hold on. I will share it with you. If you were here, I would actually share it with you. I'm not I may be a whiskey snob, but I am not a stingy whiskey snob. I happily share the good whiskey with friends. So here's what we've got. Felipe sent a Highland Park 18-year Viking Pride. And I am very, very excited for this. So, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I have not had an 18-year Highland Park before. I'm very excited. I got a 30-year Highland Park once. I didn't know what I was buying. It was really good. Ooh. Let's see. I'm going to need this. This is to lubricate the old oh my gosh. That is terrific already. This is to lubricate the old mood for Ron. It's always tough to deal with Ron. As for the Twitch, I'm gonna put up a community post after this stream. I don't know it off the top of my head. Corona, if you're in the chat and you could link to Inverse Twitch, that would be great. Or anybody else, any of the other mods who happens to know what it is. Otherwise, I'm going to put up a community post, and I will also tweet about it tomorrow. Smell a little bit of fire, a little bit of smoke. Okay. I'm just an Islay Scotch kind of guy. I think this is Islay, isn't it? I don't know if it's actually Islay, but it's very smoky. Yeah, looks like it. Hold on. I don't want to say the wrong thing. It doesn't, I guess it doesn't really say, but I believe this is an Islay Scotch. It has the smoke and the peat. It is, there's just something good about drinking down like a warm campfire. Yum. Isla, not Isla. Sorry, Isla. Well, then why'd they put a Y on it? Frickin' Scotsman. Okay. Oh, well, that's delicious. It's going to be really depressing going back to Gretzky whiskey after that. All right, I'm going to read some of the super chats, and then we will get started with the Ronversations. So, yeah, gimme Skittles now, says, guys, don't use joke names when you donate to Vic's GoFundMe. Uh-oh. That means we got to pull up the GoFundMe. Here we go. Here is the GoFundMe. We are at $276,345. Thank you all for your donations. Thank you especially to Chris White, Anonymous, Jay Sean, No Money, James Reed, and Anonymous. But yes, don't use joke names when you donate to Vic's GoFundMe. GoFundMe will refund your donation. They will on our campaign. Apparently not on other people's, but on this one. They got really, really mad that people were using GoFundMe donations to make fun of people. As for you, Ron, give it up because you'll never wear down Nick or us anime and Vic fans. Hope you like being a laughing stock. I think he might perversely enjoy being a laughing stock. But no, it's impossible to wear me down. For Ron, anyway. I mean, I'm sure something could wear me down, but not Ron. Losing my voice can wear me down. That's actually rough. Some of you noticed on the the Judge Chuck video I did yesterday that my my voice was very sour and sour. My voice wasn't sour. It was hoarse. It was hoarse. And that actually is disheartening. I don't know why. It shouldn't be. But it is. It's just weird to listen to yourself talk like this for a while. Oh no. Now I'm in the shoes of Lemon Fuhrer. No wonder he's always trying to get to the top floor of the elevator. Too bad he can't climb the fence. He needs a handicap ramp to go. Just kidding. That's a joke in Minecraft or whatever. So, yeah. Oh my goodness. So that, yeah, thank you. Thank you for sending that. I took another sip of whiskey and I got lost in it. I'm sorry. It's a good one. Adzuma99 says, hold on. Before we continue with season 2 of Ronversations, I have to ask, where's Gavel-san? Right here. And yes, I know, Ace Attorney. I know. Ace Attorney can wear me down. That is a true thing. That is a true thing. Grown Up Trunks says, we're working hard on our Indiegogo for our arcade bar. We are halfway there. We're in talks about having Chuck and Vic at the grand opening. Good luck on that one. Link on Twitter at 8shinobi. So that, my best wishes to you in getting Chuck and Vic to show up for your opening. Hopefully you have success with that. But yeah, if you guys want to check out at 8shinobi, you can see what their arcade bar is all about, and you can see if that's something you want to donate to. So there you go. Felipe Move says, Nick, have you thought about why Ron is talking to you? Do you think they want to use these vids against you/Vic? Good to see you got the whiskey. Oh, I was hoping it was the same, Felipe. Thank you. The whiskey is delicious. I think they want to use the videos against me. I think they want me to admit something that I'm not going to, because the main problem with their thesis, that I will admit something that will be helpful to them, is that their thesis isn't true. right? So they want me to admit that I did something that's in their narrative, but I didn't. It's just in their narrative. That's all they've ever got. So they want me to say something that didn't happen in the hopes that they can use it against Vic. The problem is it didn't happen. So they can't use it against Vic because I won't say it. So I think the other problem is that Ron is just really, really unhinged, unstable, and he likes the attention. You know, he likes the attention, and he's abusive. He's an abuser. Ron needs to abuse someone. And if you notice, like there's two different things that happen here, right? There's making fun of someone, which is something you can do from a distance. You can mock, you can ridicule. That's like tweeting about someone and mocking them, like Law Twitter, right? Like they mock me a fair bit. I don't really care. That's up to them. They can do that. That's fine. They disagree. They want to make fun. Sure. I do that too. I do that a lot to a lot of people. And that's okay. That's how we engage in some sort of slapdickery and have fun, right? Some people, maybe not you people, maybe only broken people like me. Then there's abuse. Abuse is where the person who is the target of your ridicule must be engaged. They must participate in it. You have to make sure that they know, right? You have to make sure that they're involved with it. You want to put them in a place. You want to have power and control over them. You want to manipulate them. You want your thing to have impact to them. Whereas with mockery and ridicule, it might have impact on someone, but it's a periphery impact, right? Because if they didn't know you said it, it wouldn't really impact them. Because there's 7 billion people there's 6.5 billion people in the world after Corona Chan gets done. And that's a whole lot of people that you will never know if they're paying attention to you at all, right? They could be saying stuff about you all day and you'd have no idea. With abuse, you make sure that they're engaged. Ron's an abuser. His entire life has been abuse. Allegedly from him on the receiving end of it and then on the giving end of it, right? He abuses people. He threatens them. He wants to, he hits women. He responds with violence. This is who Ron is. So this is at the end of the day why Ron is talking. And you can look at how he was engaging Vic, right? Look at Ron. Ron is sitting here saying, I will help Vic. I will do this thing if Vic does what I say, if he does it how I say it, and he must report to me to do it. That's abuse. Vic must report to Ron the proper, his healing progress and his proper path to recovery. Otherwise, it's not good enough for Ron. He must control Vic into doing the thing that Ron believes Vic must do. He was tagging him on Twitter. He was tweeting hundreds of times. He sent emails. He left voicemails. He tried to bring it to Vic. This is a guy who has, in his entire life, spent probably less than half an hour of time talking to Vic person to person. Many of you have spent more actual personal time with Vic Mignogna than Ron. All right? I need to make people aware of this because Ron passes it off like he has some concern for Vic. Vic's his friend. Vic's someone who's a personal concern of Ron. Ron has spent less than probably half an hour interacting with Vic on an interpersonal level. So about the same amount of time that a Vic fan might have going up to Vic's table and interacting with him at a couple shows combined. That's it. All right? Ron has no personal interest in Vic. He can't. He doesn't have that type of relationship. He doesn't have the rapport. Vic has never been friends with Ron. Not that he wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't now, but there's just not been that sort of relationship. Ron tried to sell it like that, right? Like my fiance's friend, and therefore my friend. That's not how things work, right? You make relationships with people, not with adjacent people. Okay? So Ron is doing this to abuse Vic. He doesn't have the requisite relationship to have a say in this person's life, but he wants to make it known that he should, because Ron is good and will make Vic good. He wants all of you to know it, and most importantly, he wants Vic to know that Ron will make him good. And link that, all right? Link that analysis, that's how you say it. Link that analysis into the fact that when Vic, ran into Monica at a convention, Ron and Monica were there, Vic walked next to Monica, right? He kind of like went in between. He walked right up to Monica and walked next to his friend. Ron said he wanted to punch Vic Mignogna for that. Okay? So link those two things in your mind, and that will explain why Ron is doing this to me. Why Ron would do this to anybody. Ron is an abuser. He's violent. He's likely, literally dangerous to people around him. Because this is how he engages other people. They must follow his whim. I mean, seriously, Vic walked next to his longtime friend who happened to be Ron's girlfriend, and Ron wanted to assault him. But this is before Ron found out about the alleged story at the hotel from 2007. This is just Ron cold open, right? Cold open. He doesn't have knowledge of the alleged assault at this point in time, because Ron didn't learn that until the lawsuit. He just reacts this way. He's violent. He's an abuser. So that's why Ron is doing this. There's no more complicated reason than that. All right. Sorry. I hope that's helpful to people who are curious about this, but you really do have to kind of look into how abusers need to have their victims participate in the abuse. That's what makes it abusive. Dax Terminax says, celebrating my birthday today, so I'm throwing in a drinking game for tonight. 1, if Nick says how embarrassing, drink. 2, if Nick speaks like Lemoyne, drink. If Nick rants, finish your drink. Cheers, everyone. Hey, Dax. Dex, not Dax. Sorry, that's Dick's fault. Dex Terminax. Cheers to you, buddy. Happy birthday. I bet you're getting old. How embarrassing. All right, next. Blaine20 says, barely on time and barely hetero. Listen, limits were made to be rubbed up against until they explode. I think that's how that works. Infernal Iris says, Nick, I spoke with a relative who is a therapist. They said it sounds like Ron suffers from cluster B type personality disorders, includes antisocial, borderline, histrionic, and narcissistic personality disorders. Yeah, narcissistic and histrionic certainly seem to fit the bill, but I'm not a psych. Nick Surge says, so what's the deal with the Supreme Court ruling on YouTube being allowed to stifle free speech? Was it the Supreme Court? I thought it was just the appeals court if you're talking about PragerU. And the Supreme Court's not going to take that case. PragerU brought a pretty weak case to that one. But yeah, they still have, I mean, YouTube still does have the ability to control the content on its platform. And the way 230 is written, they're still not a publisher. So unless you're talking about a different case, I don't know. I want to read the ruling specifically. I just have the very high level cliff notes. But maybe we'll cover that on a stream sometime soon. Also, C-virus scare has been decimating Walmart and Sam's Club in Central Arkansas, thanks to news telling everyone to stock up. Well, we just got our first confirmed case in Minnesota, so apparently I'm not leaving the vault ever again. Sakaki Onsai says, you are on time in Martinez. Here's a set of sawbucks due to the feds giving me back my withholdings. Oh, hey, congrats. Thanks, buddy. A suggestion for a later topic, the legal ramifications over government overreach in indie contracting, the gig economy in California and Texas. You know, there's a guy on Kiwi Farms, Boss Bass, I think, Boss Bass, not sure which one he picked. And he was talking to me about how the Vic case intersected gig economy and stuff like that. I would love to talk to him. I messaged him, but he doesn't use Discord very often. So Boss Bass, whatever you go by, if you're out there and you want to talk, man, hit me back on Discord. I'd love to, if you want to talk about that subject, I'd love to get into it with someone. Frostbeard 2 says Gretzky whiskey, where you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Oh, I wouldn't say I'm missing the shots, frankly. Batgoat says Esme has been in the shower since Tug's stream. We don't know her secret, but it's pretty impressive. That's a good job, Esme. You do you. Gabriel Cousin says abusive tactics 101. Isolate the victim. Break them down and build them up to your specifications as a means of control. The problem with Ron doing that to me is I literally don't care what he says. I could think of no worse person on earth to take advice from than Ron. He is the antithesis of my life. He doesn't have a successful marriage. He's abusive to women. He is abusive to others. He is, well, short. And that's not a dig on short people. I'm just not. And he is also, I think he's even younger than I am. And he's dating a significantly older and larger woman. That, again, is the antithesis of my life. Everything about his life is embarrassing to me, and I would want no part of it. Not at all. So, there we go. Victaris says, at this point, Ron has probably spent more time with Vic inside a courtroom than out of it. Except I don't know that Ron was ever in the courtroom with Vic. Vic wasn't at his TCPA hearing, and again, he didn't have to be. Neither was Ron. Don't really know why Ron wasn't there. Ron was close by. He was like in a coffee shop or something. Like a weirdo. But he was not at the actual hearing. Which is very, very strange. Oh, wait. No, it isn't strange. It isn't strange at all now that I think about it. The Dallas Morning News was there to take staged photographs. And if the Dallas Morning News had snapped a photograph with Ron there, as opposed to just the women there, it would have destroyed their narrative. It would have messed with the whole situation. Also, everyone reading the newspaper would have looked and gone, yeah, well, that guy looks like he sucks. So that's probably why Ron wasn't there, because of the stage things. Instead, they replaced Ron with another woman, Kara Edwards, who was there. So rather than having three women, one who ostensibly is male, named Ron. They had 3 actual women. So there you go. But I don't know if Ron was at the fee hearing or not. I don't believe so. I think it was just the lawyers, and then Vic was there to testify. So I don't know that he spent much time in a courtroom with Vic at all. But I get the joke. Sorry, I'm lawyering the joke. That's dumb. That was terrible of me. I apologize. Spank Daddy says, just found out that there were a few Wu flu cases a block away from my house. Pour one out in my honor if I go down, Nikki. Spank Daddy, I'm going to preemptively pour one out for you, pal. Mainly because I finished my other one. Back to the Gretzky. Back to the Gretzky. All right. Storm Knight MD says, why on in the name of this green earth are you feeding into this twisted mind by reading his DMs? He needs to be dropped and ignored like a bad habit. Oh no. This is hobby area for me. This is fine. This is fine. This is someone walking into your house and attacking you. You get permission to slap them. Call him stupid. And finally, Blue Crimson 217 says, the Soy-Nado is younger than you. It looks like what Roald Dahl said about ugly people on the inside is true. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at Monica, Jamie, and Ron. I think Monica's older than me. The other 2 are not. But look at how they changed over the They're hideous. It's the look at how people go when they turn SJW, right? Like that's the meme, is the girls go to the liberal school for feminist studies or whatever, and she turns from like pretty nice looking girl into horrific monster. And it's true. It actually happens in that way. Oh, it's disgusting. That's yeah. What happens on the inside happens on the outside. And then finally, JCF Data says, Nick, do not forget to get me the name of the gin you wanted me to try. Also, are you sure they are actual women? Well, no, I'm not checking skirts. It's Heyman's Old Tom Gin. Just a second. JCF Data, this is what you want. Heyman's Old Tom Gin. This is really good. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know if you can get this anywhere in the States or up in Canadianistan, but if you can, that stuff is great. Great gin. No. Trust me. I've had good gin. I've had bad gin. That's a good gin. That's a good gin. So there we go. Okay, I think that we're good for super chats. Let's go ahead and go into this. This is where we left off. I want to do a quick refresher course. We left off right here, but I'm going to go back to this little thing because this was a point I really want to re-emphasize. All right. So this is me quoting Ron. I wasn't upset at Monica for being assaulted by Vic. I wasn't upset that she held that truth to herself and didn't share it with me. She is entitled to share what she chooses with me. Her past is her past. It is none of my business, and she is free to share as little or as much about it as she chooses. And again, this is where the reason I want to hammer home on this is that Ron does not know how to be in a healthy marital relationship. He doesn't know. So it's probably good that Monica is keeping him at arm's length, right? I mean, one can only speculate how often the side piece gets the full piece, but or maybe he's the side piece. Who even knows? But it's probably a good thing that she's not entering into a marriage with him, because he doesn't understand how it works. And for what it's worth, I don't think Monica does either. Neither of these people. But my response, and let me just hammer home that this is why you are a routine failure at marriage. Take it from someone who's been married longer than all of your failures, including Monica combined. Also take it from someone who would never threaten to murder a spouse, an ex, a judge, a child, or anyone else for that matter, you weird psychopath. When you want to get out of the friend zone, send me a message. I'll teach you how to actually earn the respect and trust of your spouse, rather than just being a side piece and can be stuffed in a box when it's inconvenient. So that's my little homage to Gimp from Pulp Fiction. So his response is 17-0. Okay, Ron. Okay. This is such an interesting figure, right? A lot of people do the 17-0 to me, and that's fine. But none of the people saying 17-0 to me were involved in making it 17-0. Nor was I involved in making it 17-0, right? I didn't write the documents or make the arguments. Neither did Ron or any of the law Twitter people. None of them were involved. We're all watching this thing. Ron is ostensibly paying Lemoyne to do it, but he's not one of the people doing it. The 17-0 thing doesn't bother me. I can't make it different than that. I don't have the ability to. It's not my job. It would be if it were in Minnesota and it were my case, but it's not. So it's such a weird thing. And it's amazing that they latch onto this as if somehow this is like they're making fun of Ty, I guess. And that's rude, poor Ty. But that's Ty. That's not me. I didn't do it. I can't. 17-0. That's next year for me. That'll be 17 years of successful marriages to 0 years of Ron's successful marriages. Oh my gosh. So here he says, I like how I've been handling things. If I ever want to look like a complete fool, you would be my first call. But until that day, I will be a reminder of how bad you are. I will be a reminder at how bad you are at this. Again, it's not my case, Ron. It's not my case. Sure, Ron, you look great. Nobody on earth believes you're a lying, abusive asshole. That was the last thing I sent to him that we covered on the last stream. So now we're moving on from that. Look at this. You can believe that, but I have receipts. Smiley face. Oh, uh-oh. I think the abuse thing stings. You know, the stuff you didn't have and why you are 0-17. I'm not owing anything. That's, again, these people have no concept of who actually is involved. They still think I'm the lawyer or on the legal team or something. So someone had to believe me. 0-17 versus 17-0. I like where I'm sitting. Well, you probably are sitting on something. You know what I mean? And then a wink smiley face. Okay, good. That's 2 emojis in one message. Ron, are you? Oh, plus the little thought thinking emoji. Get the remote ready. So then we got to go back. What are you talking about? I have the receipts of you beating a woman and threatening to murder children, you disgusting weirdo. Because that's what I'm talking about. Here we go. This is another thing he likes to do. He likes to create an argument or a statement and ask if that's my position. So let's get this point clear. Is it your official position that a person can't do the work to be a better person? Let me respond to him here, because I was just made fun of him in the thing, but let me respond here. No, of course not. My position is that you haven't done the work to get better, Ron. That's the terrifying thing. You think you have, but you haven't. You're not better. You're still the same. I bet you hit Monica, or I bet you threatened to. I would put money on it. I would put money on it. Bet you think about it. Right? Slap her right across those big, disgusting horse teeth. Oh, hi, it's Will. Says, a wise man once told me, if you're not paying rent, someone's getting wrapped in leather. Yes. Yes. Before I send a few receipts to you, I would like to see your answer, especially considering where your boy is sitting. Which boy? Are you talking about Vic? I mean, Vic wasn't getting conventions, then he sued you, and now he is getting conventions. So, I don't know. Again, this is something that is so baffling to me. Going from where Vic was in February of 2019. He had one convention appearance left, and that was Anime Matsuri. To where Vic is now, doing conventions basically every 2 to 3 weeks. He's objectively in a better spot. The people on Twitter are like, oh, this is what you get for suing your employer, blah, blah, blah. He didn't sue his employer, by the way. He sued his former employer, who fired him and then defamed him in a tweet that was not necessary. There's a huge difference there. And that employer was never going to hire him back. Ever. And the only chance he had of countering the allegations made was to actually counter them. So again, Vic is objectively, even with the loss, in a better position now than he was. Oh, what's going on here? Just a second. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. All right, sorry about that. One second. Anyway, oh, everyone's okay. It's just a little young one bathroom incident. So that's how that goes. There are fun stages of young kids and there are less fun stages of young kids. Anyway. All right, back to this. Back to what I was saying. It is hard to say that Vic is in some worse position. And interestingly, if people would leave him alone, he would get cons no problem. No problem. It's literally the interference from other people hurting him. That's what actually hurts Vic. Cons aren't just like, oh no, we don't want to have you. They know. They know. I've talked to cons who said this specifically. They know that bringing Vic will sell hundreds of tickets. But it's the constant attacks from certain people that push them away. That's not from the case, by the way. Those people were attacking him before the case. And if you think for some reason they would have magically stopped, no. Vic getting any work is what prompts them to do it. It's not the lawsuit that prompts them to attack him. It's the fact that he gets to exist as a person in society. That's why they attack, right? That's why they go on their assaultive attacks. Why they will leave 3, 4, 5, 6 Yelp reviews on a store just because they had Vic come do a signing. These people are delusional. They're deranged. They're dangerous. They're Ron. They're awful, awful people. And it's the fact that they cause so much trouble. And the fact that people listen, not just convention owners. It's the partners. It's the other businesses. It's the other guests. Those are the people who don't have the spine. There are plenty of convention owners with a spine, but the problem is they face the prospect of dealing with a bunch of other people who don't have spines. There's a bevy of spineless people around. Just nut up and do the show. But that's the problem that Vic's having. But that said, he's still getting more shows now than he was back in February of 2019. Objectively, the lawsuit has done him better. He stood up and fought and got invited back to shows. And I believe he's made more than it costs, even if you figure in the fee requests. So I guess that's a problem for their whole narrative. The stuff that Vic reported, and remember, this was months and months and months ago. What they reported for his income at the time was above what he owes in fees. Or no, it was close to what he owes in fees. By now, he's out-earned it. And he still hasn't had to pay the fees yet. And he may never have to pay the fees. So this notion that he's somehow in a worse position is, again, it's this weird thing where they create a fiction and then decide the world conforms to their fiction rather than just seeing what the world is doing and checking it, and checking in on how that works. It's let's create our delusion and then demand that the world is that way. It doesn't work that way, though. If it worked that way, Ron would be married to Monica, and she'd probably be falling down the stairs or into doorknobs a lot, right? I fell. Sure you did. Sure you did. Anyway, all right. Nova Zero says, Nick, I figured it out. Ron's covertly calling you for help. He just said he'd call you if you wanted to know how to be a fool. That's code. The fool regrets that he's with Monica. Maybe she's abusive. You're welcome, Ron. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ron, you can find my phone number online. It's pretty easy. Here we go. And now on to the big one. This is a big one. Here we go. Are you ready? Remember, this is a guy who took ownership. He took ownership of his bad past, and now he's better because he owned up to what he did. And beating a woman is exaggerated. I never denied slapping a remote down on her thigh. Inexcusable, but that wasn't beating. But you are entitled to your opinion. No, Ron, that's literally beating. You took an object and you struck someone with it. That's beating them. You can safely say to us that it was a light tap on her thigh. I think previously he said it was on her elbow, but what do I know? Now it's just a tap on the thigh. It wasn't beating. It's inexcusable, but it wasn't that bad. The mitigation is amazing. Absolutely amazing. We've got Felipe Mouve says the whiskey is distilled on an island called the mainland north of Scotland, near the town of Kirkwall. So from 1 to 10, what is your rate? Oh, on the Highland Park? Oh man, it's we're in the 9+ range. It's phenomenal. Very smooth. Nice smoke, not overpowering smoke and peat. It is really, really quite good. I don't know what to say. I would drink it exclusively, but I'm on a quest. Oh boy. And then that nerd Derek says, today I found out that a friend from college was manipulated and assaulted by someone she trusted. She made a GoFundMe for a play based on her experience. Can she get a shout out? I can DM you the link. Sure. Where are you going to DM it to me? On Twitter or Discord or what? All right. You are entitled to your opinion. Guys, this is a dumb phrase. No one is entitled to their opinion, right? It's just yours. Entitled is believing oneself to be inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. Your opinion is not a privilege or a special treatment. It just is a thing. It's yours. It's your opinion. That's like saying your arm. You're entitled to your arm. No, I'm not. I just have it. It's just there. It's mine. It exists. I don't have some claim to it. It's not a special thing that someone gave me. It's just my freaking arm. What the hell is this? We've got to get rid of this language. It's embarrassing. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. No, they aren't. They just have their opinion. It's not a matter of claiming some right or exclusive use of it. It's just theirs. Everyone's entitled to their brain. What? You either have one or you don't. Right? It's like, think about it this way. Everyone's entitled to their arms. What about the guy who doesn't have arms? Does he get to claim his arms? No, he doesn't have them. He's not entitled to his arms, is he? Because he doesn't have arms. It's just a thing that you have. An opinion is a facet of you. It's the manifestation of a whole bunch of neurons coming to some sort of conclusion. And then you have it. If someone is entitled to something, that's a privilege that can be taken away, right? It's a sense of entitlement. No. Your opinion is something that you form. It's inherent. It's a part of you. It's made by external things being processed internally. You can't just, someone can't take it away from you. Someone can't say, oh, you can't have an opinion on this, because of course you will. Might not be entitled to voice it, I guess. If you live in like Russia or whatever, or China or something like that, but anyway. But wouldn't it be weird if you were going around saying people can't change and there are receipts of it from someone who you profess to have been beaten by me? No! Oh my gosh! No, it would not be weird that the person that you beat, that the person whose children you threatened to murder would now say, oh yeah, Ron's a changed man. Dear God, no, that's not weird at all. That happens every day. That's called abusing someone into and just battering them into your position. That wouldn't be weird. Oh my, and why would she? Why would this person tell another random person on the internet the truth about a horrific situation they were in? Remember, this would be the woman who conspired with Ron's other ex because they knew that telling him something would cause him to threaten to murder people. Because Ron is so inherently violent that they knew and were recording without question. They knew that Ron would want to literally murder someone. Oh yeah, I trust them to tell me over the truth over you who knows where they live and have threatened to kill them. I have an idea, Ron. Why don't you let that lady go? She's my biggest supporter. Oh, God. That poor woman. Imagine feeling pressured into supporting the person who beat you and terrified you. You still support me, right? Oh, my God. Would you like to be proven wrong now or later? Oh, Ron, I don't think you know how this works. Because it seems that you are addicted to being in that position. Humiliated and misinformed. Ron. Cuck joke, cuck joke, cuck joke. Ron. Humiliation is your kink, baby. Not mine. Not mine. Just a reminder. 17-0. Again. Not really sure they understand how this goes. So my response. This blew me away, by the way. I had no idea what to do with this. Beating a woman is exaggerated. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That sounds like mitigating talk, Ron. Almost like your recovery is a lie. You're a sham and a danger to those around you, especially Monica. You beat a woman and threatened to murder people, and you say you weren't a horrific abuser, and suddenly now reality is exaggerated. Pretty amazing that you're like this. It's not that people can't get better. It's that the evidence points to you not getting better. You're disgusting. Do you realize the ridiculous irony of you mitigating your abuse and saying someone can change while demanding a guy be removed from society for consensual hugs and alleged assaults from a decade ago? See, this is something, another problem with Ron's narrative, right? This is a big problem with Ron's narrative. And I have a feeling if they go to they go to trial on this, if it comes back from appeal and they go to trial, there's going to be some questions about this. Okay. Is it possible that in the intervening years, he changed? We wanted him to change and get better. Is it possible that in the intervening years he changed? No. How do you know? Well, who did he assault? Right? All of these claims are from years ago. I think the youngest claim was something like 5 years prior. Okay? Who did Vic assault in the intervening 5 years? This is assuming arguendo, which is assuming the argument. Arguendo, their allegations are true. All right. Since then, who has Vic assaulted? He needs to get better. How do you know he's not? How do you know he's not better? What information do you have that points otherwise? Because they haven't presented it. Remember that. They haven't presented anything that's any time recently. All of it beyond the statute of limitations. So, what is it? This is the problem with Ron's thinking. Is that, I mean, the evidence of someone getting better would be that they don't do the thing that they did. So even if you're Ron and you've created a delusion that Vic did these things, Vic isn't doing those things. So objectively, he must be better. He must be changed. If the behavior is no longer continuing, then change must have occurred, right? Am I wrong in that? I mean, I don't believe for a second that the things happened as they stated. I think possibly, years ago, Vic and Monica got hot and heavy in a room as two young voice actors. And Vic may have been dating someone else at the time. And I think that they got interrupted. They went to dinner. They went back to the room. And they thought, maybe we shouldn't do this because you got a thing with a person and I'm dating a pedophile. Illich Guardiola, right? Actually, I don't know that Monica was dating Illich at the time. I don't know the timeline. That's a joke. But you're dating this redheaded chick who's way prettier than me, and I'm not really comfortable with that. Okay, there's no spark there. I think that might have happened, right? That makes sense. People do stuff like that. They've got someone that they admire. They try something out. It either works or it doesn't. In this case, didn't pan out. This is what would explain, in my opinion, this would explain why Monica goes back to Vic's room and Monica remains friends with Vic for the next 12 years. Is that there was some sort of consensual encounter and it just didn't work out. And that's okay. And maybe they felt a little bit bad about it because he was with someone else or whatever. Maybe not. I don't know. I have no idea. But maybe there's something to that. But I don't believe for a second that Vic forced himself on Monica. Not at all. I don't believe for a second the story about the Yost twins. I mean, there's more to the story about the Yost twins. Like them emailing him pictures of both of them holding up signs that said, "We love you." Stuff like that. I mean, the Yost twins. There's all sorts of problems with that story. Those two. I have been told by other voice actors that those two love to get free things from male voice actors. Let's put it that way. What's up, Ty? How's it going, man? Fox McCloud says Monica is just mad Vic doesn't fug whales. But yeah, I think but here's the thing. Okay, so that's reality, but let's entertain their fiction for a second. Even in their fiction, even entertaining their fiction, how has Vic not changed? What would it take to show he has changed? Because the alleged activity isn't occurring over here, right? Because it's not about hugs. It's about the scary stuff. But what? That's not actually occurring. What is occurring at conventions is Vic will hug a fan who comes up, who waits for hours in his line, pays him for an autograph and a picture, and he gives them a hug that they can refuse. That's what's been going on. That's what is being merged with these abuse claims that are out there. And the abuse claims are ludicrous. The claims that Vic hugged people who came up to visit him in line, please God, run that in front of a jury of normal people. Please, dear Lord, say, here are the two things we have. Vic admits to hugging people in his line. That's in his apology. Hugged people in his line. People wait for hours and hours and watch 100 people in front of them get a hug, and then they get a hug. Because of that, he is called a sex pest and a sexual predator. Jury, do you think that that is an accurate representation of the truth? Well, no, of course not. Normal people don't think that a hug in line is the same thing as getting raped. Only disgusting, delusional psychopaths like Jennifer Lynn Hunt think that. Only broken idiots think that. Normal people do not equate a hug, even a non-consensual hug, to rape. Nobody does that. Real people understand that a hug is just literally a hug. And even if they didn't want it and are uncomfortable, they're like, but it was just a hug. He didn't put his tongue in my throat. He didn't grab my genitals. He didn't fondle my breasts like DC Douglas. It was just a flipping hug. Who cares? Literally, who cares? And I know someone out there is going to be like, well, but some people don't want hugs. Yes, a person with social anxiety disorder or something might not want a hug. Guess what? That person is not going to a convention and standing around 1,000 people for 4 hours. That's just not what happens. Someone with social anxiety disorder who can't be touched by someone doesn't wait in line for 4 hours to meet someone and watch everybody get a hug. I'm tired of this narrative. That is false. It doesn't actually happen. People can decide years later that they didn't like the encounter that they got. That's fine for them to do that. But to rewrite that into, I didn't consent to the encounter and it was assault at the time, is bullshit. And we need to stop feeding into this bullshit, because that's not how people work. It's never been how people work, and it never can be how people work, or we might as well all die alone in a vault. Period, period, period. And if you come up to me at a convention, you're gonna get a hug and maybe a groin grab. The second part's a joke. I won't touch your genitals because I don't do that. But finish the drink for the rant. Listen, the groin grab is the only thing I charge for. Okay. So anyway, sorry for the rant. I don't mean to go on a rant here, but It's not that people can get better. It's the evidence points to you not getting better. You're disgusting. Oh, wait, I read this one. Consensual hugs and alleged assaults from a decade ago. You demanded Vic change, but all of your fictions happened years ago with no evidence that they actually happened, and somehow even less evidence that anything comparable happened since. Ron, you're a liar trying to rewrite reality. It's embarrassing. I don't know if it's embarrassing counts. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. And then Ron, this is his go-to. So either you can't answer or choose to not answer. Do you believe a person can change? Look at this. Ron has the attention span of Judge fucking Chupp. It's not that people can't get better. It's the evidence points to you not getting better. Can't answer or choose not to. Do you believe a person can change? It's right here. It's right here. I clearly believe people can get better, just that Ron can't or hasn't gotten better. Look at this. I did answer his Bria Rose. I did answer his goddamn question. You claim no evidence in Vic's situation, yet 17 affidavits do not equal evidence for him, and they are in the court record. I don't know. Were there 17 affidavits entered into the record? Was it 17 affidavits? I don't know. But either way, we're going to get to why this is different, of course. Yet you push the one affidavit in my custody paperwork as perfect evidence. Ron, you went to the hearing. The judge found it true. And I quote, this court finds, I'm quoting from memory, that family violence occurred and that family violence is likely to continue occurring. Ron, you're a disgusting abuser who beats women and threatens to murder children. The court found that to be true, and they found it likely to continue because you're that disgusting and broken. No court has found anything in those affidavits you presented to be true. They weren't even considered. Yet you push the one affidavit in my custody paperwork as perfect evidence. Look, let's ignore the fact that he's still mitigating. This is a recovered abuser. I don't know if you guys know this, but how recovery works from like alcoholism, drug addiction, abuse, violence addiction, sex addictions. First thing you have to do is admit you have a problem. Ron did that years ago. I don't think he actually is still here, but he at least reached the stage where he admitted he had a problem. He owned up to beating a woman with a remote, right? He owned up to beating a woman with a remote. I'll give him credit for that. But the next part of abuse is not mitigating what you owned up to. That's a critical element. You can't later state that what you did wasn't as bad as it seemed. No, it was. In fact, for addicts to recover, they tend to, if you've ever talked to recovering addicts, they talk about their behavior as the worst behavior, right? For example, you can go back to the 2014, 12, 13, I don't remember when it was, probably more often. Glenn Beck talked about getting better from his alcoholism. Now, Glenn Beck's alcoholism was he didn't drink in the morning. He would start drinking at 5:00 p.m. And he said that he maintained that he was an alcoholic, that he relied on the alcohol, that it was part of his necessary functioning, and that he waited for it all day, right? Glenn Beck never mitigated the fact that he didn't drink during the day. He didn't drink during his work day. He waited until the end of the day. There are lots of alcoholics who drink all day long. It doesn't matter the amount that was done. What matters is the mindset that led to it. Glenn Beck was controlled by alcoholism. If you talk to other addicts, they will tell you the same thing. They borrow from Paul because a lot of them go through 12 steps, and 12 steps is a Christian-based thing, right? Alcoholics Anonymous 12-step program is a Christian-based thing. It's theologically based, and the theology resides and comes from Paul, who is a recovering Jew murderer. Let's not forget this. Paul was someone who would find Jews and turn them over to, or find Christians, Christian Jews, Christian following Jews, and turn them over to Jewish authorities to be martyred and killed. Paul talks about himself as the worst sinner, not just back when he was doing it, but now, presently. While Paul is in prison, ministering to prison guards, and has no ability to be bad, Paul talks about himself as the worst of sinners. This is the language that AA borrowed for their program. If you recognize your addiction as one that controls you and is the worst thing that you can do, you're not mitigating the damage that it caused your life and that it caused the lives of those around you. Because the moment an alcoholic looks at another drinker and says, that guy's a worse alcoholic than me, they have suddenly stopped getting the point. The point is not how much you drink, the schedule you drank on, anything like that. It's not about whether you battered people while you were drinking. What matters in alcoholism is that the alcohol controls you, that it consumes your life, that it consumes your desires, that it is the end of your day because it is what you are waiting for all day long. And to anyone out there who is struggling with this, please, if you are waiting to do something all day, if you're like, man, I really need to get to that drink, you actually need to seek help. You do, because you might have a problem. You might not, but you might. Go get help. Go get help. If it's drugs, if it's weed, if it's meth, whatever it may be, if it's sex, if it's money, if it's your Bible, you may need help. Honestly, there are people out there who are addicted to biblical scholarship or whatever, and they wait all day and they're like, I just need to get into this text and then I'm going to go on Facebook and argue about it. Addictions come in all different stripes and they're all destructive, okay? That's the point of addiction recovery, is that you recognize the destructive nature of your addiction and you never ever back down from it being destructive. Ron is on the road to unrecovery here. Ron is on the road to non-recovery. He's mitigating at every turn, and it is literally dangerous to the people around him because he is an addict. He's addicted to abuse. He's addicted to control. JS says, I've been drinking since about 2 p.m. though. That might be fine, actually. Look, the amount that you drink, the time that you spend drinking, that actually isn't the indicator for addiction. That's not how addictions work. Someone could drink 1 drink a week and be addicted to alcohol. If everything in that week leads up to that 1 drink for them, it doesn't matter the restrictions that they put on it. If it's actually controlling their day and their schedule and their life. I know this as a recovering addict. Not to alcohol, not to drugs, anything like that, but literally to EverQuest, right? My day, my week, and my month functioned around EverQuest. EverQuest was in control of my life for a period of time. And I scheduled things around that. And I thought I had beaten it. And then when I went back to EverQuest years later, it started to control again. That's when I shut it down immediately. Because, and I wasn't even playing that much, right? When I shut it down the second time, I wasn't playing that much, but it was controlling my schedule and my life and my attitude. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Your addiction can come in all sorts of forms. For Ron, that addiction is control, abuse, control and abuse, violence. At the end of the day, violence. That's what makes his addiction so freaking devastating. Anyway, that was the second freaking rant. Okay. Do you see the hypocritical nature of your position? No, my position isn't hypocritical. Your fictitious interpretation of my position is hypocritical because you are an idiot, Ron. I don't know how else to say it. Vic admitted he needed to change. Vic admitted he needed to change under duress. I'm going to say it here. I'm going to say it here and now, and I'm going to say it loud. Vic did not need to change his interactions with fans. Period. He didn't. He didn't. And him making that apology is the worst mistake in this entire case. No matter what you think about any filing, no matter what you think about any affidavit, no matter what you think about any hearing, the number one mistake in Vic's case was issuing that public apology for something that did not ever require an apology. Ever. Vic does not know any person who he actually offended. Okay? This is crucial. Vic apologized because the mob demanded an apology and because he was young and stupid. Period. He's naive and he did not know the internet. He doesn't know. Actually, he's old and stupid. He's a boomer, right? A literal boomer. I know he doesn't look it. He's a literal boomer and he doesn't understand how this works because he spent the last 20 years with people loving him rather than people literally trying to kill him. Okay? So he didn't know. He didn't know that the demands for an apology were hollow and false. This was a brigade and no apology ever would be enough. Ever. There was nothing. Vic could have sucked the penis of every single person he offended in apology, and it wouldn't have been good enough. Okay? I have to put this out there. There is nothing. He could have bought them all Maseratis or houses or sent them all to the Bahamas. It doesn't matter what Vic did. Literally nothing would have ever satiated their insatiable desire for apology. There would always be something he didn't do good enough. Nothing could have satiated the mob. Because that's a mob, right? Ask the French. As Robespierre is executing the children of the monarchs because he ran out of monarchs and nobles. As Robespierre is beheading children in the town square, and then the mob demands that Robespierre be executed. You can never, ever satisfy the mob. It is the number one mistake that he made. Without question. And whoever advised him to make that mistake should hang their head in shame. I know you're out there. I kind of know who you are. And I know you didn't mean it. I know you didn't mean to screw Vic over. But you did. But you did screw Vic over with that apology. Because it is the one thing that his opponents have latched onto more than literally anything else. He should never have apologized, generally, for something he didn't do. And you know he didn't believe he did it. And this is the problem with PR firms. I agree, Ty. Vic's apology isn't an admission in any way. Legally, it's not. But his detractors have grabbed on to the scrotum of that apology and swung back and forth, punching him in the taint every single pass. Whoever advised him to make that apology is wrong. I read the second sentence, Ty. And I can't wait for that argument to be made in front of a jury. I got you. I heard you. I read it. I'm just saying. Just saying for those out there. It's not the legality of this that matters. And I hope they do get to make the argument in front of a jury. All right, let's get back to this. He cried in front of an audience admitting he really messed up. He didn't know what he was doing and he was being attacked by all of you monsters. That's why he was crying, you idiot. Listen. This is going to sound like an attack on Vic and it's not. This is not an attack on Vic because if you know Vic at all, and I know Vic a little bit. I'm happy to call him friend. Okay? I know Vic a little bit. Vic thought he was doing the right thing, and he thought that by apologizing to the mob that he was apologizing to his fans. Cause Vic is a boomer and doesn't understand the internet. These people the people accusing Vic have never actually stood in a line wanting to meet him. They haven't. They didn't. They never would. They don't, because people don't act that way. All right? And listen to their stories. I stood in line with a friend who wanted to see Vic. Something like that. And he hugged me. And I didn't mind at the time, but 5 years later, I thought that hug was weird. Okay, sure. Find a Toyota Yaris and drive it into a wall. Okay? Honestly, that's where we are right now. That's the problem we have right now. 5 years ago, you stood in a line with a friend, Vic assumed you were a fan, he hugged you, and you didn't mind it. But then, later, because you heard someone else lie, you decided that hug was weird. Okay, well now you don't deserve to be in society anymore, because if you're that malleable, you're probably a danger to yourself. But no one who actually waited in Vic's line, no fan waited in Vic's line for a hug, got one, and then was mad about it. I refuse to accept it. I also haven't seen it. Because if you're a fan of Vic, it takes you about 2 seconds to realize that that guy's going to hug you. That's it. I actually threatened him. I pulled out the mace and I was like, you hug me? Yeah, I'm going to steal your sriracha, you son. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Anyway. Let me read a couple super chats here. Fox McLeod. Oh, wait, I read that one. Jesse Bauman. Bowman says, nah, I think it's more likely that Monica wanted it because he's successful and she's a psychopath. Then Vic broke it off and now she's mad because gold diggers be gold diggers. Could be. Could be. Fox McCloud says, is this enough for a groin grab? Listen. We're in negotiations now. This is enough to get you in the door. Now we're in negotiations. Blaine20 says, I'm going to bed. Have to be up in 6 hours to do armed security at a local Scottish fest. Want me to get some info on for you for ordering a kilt. Listen, only if you can order dad shorts level kilt. Zakin Tawate says, what Evercrack server did you play on? I actually started on Povar very, very briefly. And then I switched to Solusek Row because my best friend was playing on Solusek Row. Then we moved to Aone Row. I played on Zeb and then Zegany when they merged. I quit after the pain that was grinding a guild to Plane of Time. Screw all that. I'm out. Yeah, I played on Aone Row. I was in the Rest in Peace guild on Solusek Row and Aone Row. So I don't know if any of you out there were on those servers and recognize that guild. My character name was Tuned Out Song Molester until Sony took away my surname of Song Molester, saying that it was abusive. Nova Zero says, Vic needs to apologize for even actually apologizing to these freaking weirdos. He turned away from God by denying the needed consultation with his own soul. Also for kissing Ty. Hi, Ty. Yeah, they literally said that my name was offensive and abusive. I was like, it molests songs. Molesting songs means to annoy or bother songs. Anyway. I was a bard. All right. Anyway, back to it. Back to it. Cried in front of an audience admitting that he really, really messed up. Again, if you are not apologizing to a person that you know you wronged, and you're not apologizing. You might be pandering. And again, this is not a criticism of Vic. He didn't know. He doesn't know how this works because he's never dealt with a hate brigade. Vic thinks he's dealt with a hate brigade before this. He dealt with some weird rumors and stuff like that. But an actual hate brigade that was on balance to cancel him, he's never dealt with that. And suddenly he was. Suddenly he was dealing with the hate brigade. So he came out and he apologized. I'm so sorry, because he thought, poor sweet summer child Vic thought that his fans were hurt. He didn't realize the lie. The lie was that they were his fans at all. They never were. People were never his fans. They were never his supporters. They were never buying his work, and they were never there to see him. His fans didn't complain. Other people levied some complaints and said that he did things to his fans, and Vic was mortified. Of course he was. Of course he was. You tell someone like me that they pissed off a fan, I'm like, good. That's my job, is to piss people off. You tell someone like Vic that they pissed off a fan, and oh my God, he's reaching for a razor, right? Can't imagine pissing someone off. It's not in his DNA. He's too damn nice. He's too pure or whatever. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's repulsive to me. I have to just pound cloves of garlic when I'm around him to remind myself that the world is a bitter, hateful place. These weren't his fans, Ron. He was apologizing to people that didn't exist. They were lies. Nothing against that, but he admitted he messed up. Then why are you arguing with me? He must mean if. Ron, I'm not arguing with you. I'm making fun of you because it's the funniest thing I can do during my day to mock you. I can't think of something better in my life that I can do on Twitter anyway than to make fun of your dumbass when you come knocking at my door. If you came knocking to my door in real life, I would call you a cuck and I would sing a parody version of Private Conversation and make fun of you. And I would ask you how Monica's bull tastes or whatever. You tiny little man. Would you like to see the receipts I have that will make you look like a clown or not? Look at this. Why does he keep asking me for permission to show the receipts? I don't care. I'm never going to give him permission. Never, ever will I give this thing permission to show me a file. It's not going to change my opinion of you, Ron. I think you're a disgusting little marmot. I'm not going to suddenly go, oh, well, now I think you're better. No, you're awful. And it's not your past that makes you awful. It's your present that makes you awful. Are you saying you plan your entire day around bad-mouthing Ron? Sounds like you're addicted to cucking cucks. Yes. Yes. Get me a 12-step program. 12 steps of cuckery. All right. Here we go. Because they are coming one way or another. I bet that's what he tells all the girls. I'm coming one way or another. You've lied and twisted things trying to prove a point. I have never lied, Ron. On YouTube. On YouTube. I've lied in my life, obviously. Everybody has lied in their life at some point. I try not to. But on YouTube, certainly not. I have nothing to lie about. You guys are your own comedy show. You have lied and twisted things trying to prove a point. What point am I trying to prove? Your narrative fails because you assume too much versus getting actual facts. You mean like court affidavits and then rulings that back up the affidavit? Is that what you mean by actual facts? But again, Ron, it's not your past. You're now the abuser. The past explains the present. I don't think Ron understands this. Maybe I should. That's my next thing. That's what I'll do right now. Or not right now. That's my next message to Ron is, Ron, you think the past is what I'm focused on, but I'm focused on the present. Your past just explains the present. The present abuse is explained by the past. I'm not criticizing the past abuse. Certainly someone can get better. It's the present. Past just, it's like, oh God. I see now. It's like I walked downstairs in my house and I was like, I smelled. It's like, oh God. Oh, it's horrible. What is this? And then I walked around the corner and I walked back into the laundry room where the cat box is. And there was a steaming pile right on top that the cat didn't cover up with litter, right? Huh. Now I know. But if the cat doesn't take a dump on my floor, I don't have a problem with it. But if the cat takes a dump on my floor and then it smells, and then I look to the past when he took a dump in the cat box and then it smells, now I know that behavior is consistent. He needs to eat something different. Anyway. Sprite Cola says, friendly reminder that Ron only likes what can be considered food from male cows. Even if that male cow has been entertaining his fiance. I don't like to sing on stream, but man, I got that parody version of Private Ronversations running through my head. So you say slapping a remote down on a person is the same as beating someone. Literally, yes! Literally, yes, Ron. Yes. That's beating someone, you weirdo. What is wrong with you? Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. I have 100% comfort and confidence saying that that's beating someone. If you hit someone with something, yes, you beat them. What are you, you disgusting monster? You're comfortable. And the law agrees with me. The law agrees with me. Oh my God. You're comfortable trying to push the agenda that I beat my ex-wives off that. No, the one. I don't know if you beat the other one, but you definitely abused both of them. You abused both of them. I know you beat one. I don't know if you beat the other. I assume you probably did. But I don't know that. But I know you beat one of them. Do you know who is one of my best friends now? Again, Monica. Monica. Wave the red flag and run. And run. Guys, let me help you with this. Let me give you some professional marriage advice. If you are in a committed relationship now, you shall not be best friends with your ex. Ever. 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 You shouldn't. You should barely be speaking with other women. If you're not in a committed relationship, I don't care what you do. If you're in a committed relationship and you are trying to wife someone up and you are even talking to an ex, you're already like outside of here's when you can pick up the kid, you're in red flag territory. Get help. Get out, cut him out, cut her out of your life. It's your ex. It's your literal ex. You should have professional, truncated conversations and nothing more. What the hell is wrong with you? Well, when Monica's not, Monica, I know you see these sometimes. Listen, I call you baby girl, but baby gorilla, Monica, listen here, sweet cheeks. If your man considers his ex one of his best friends, that's not your man. That's not your man. If his ex is fawning over how much he's changed, what broke them up? Abuse. If the abuse is gone, you're going to get chlamydia. You're going to get chlamydia. Anyway. Whew. All right. Do you know who has been one of my biggest defenders? I think I have a joke response to that coming up. It must really frustrate you that people defend me. I've seen literally no one defend Ron, so I don't know what he's talking about. Because I took ownership of my past. Took is past tense. By the way. Were I a psychologist rather than a lawyer and a professional asshole, I would take notice of the past tense. Took. I took ownership of my past and did the work to get better. No. If you are a monster, you need to take ownership of the past and do the work to continually get better. And yet no one has come forward to publicly defend your boy. Of course not. Of course not. You fucking monsters will ruin them too. You will ruin them. And you know it. And you know it. Well, to be fair, you have, and a few fans, but I am talking industry professionals. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The industry that just canceled a man. Here you go. This guy exists. Wants to go to a convention. You moron. And we've seen you do it to KamehamehaCon, by the way. You try to, and if you haven't seen the new KamehamehaCon, listen, I'm not here to speak ill of the dead, but KamehamehaCon is dead. Look at that roster. It is embarrassing. KamehamehaCon, you done fucked up. You want to see cuckoldry incarnate? You look at KamehamehaCon 3. You look at that embarrassment that is KamehamehaCon. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah. Again, you guys do you, but I would take a strong look at that KamehamehaCon roster and decide where I'm going to spend my $200. Holy balls. But here's the thing. Look what happened to KamehamehaCon. These monsters killed it. They tried to kill it last year. The effect was felt this year. The effect was felt now. They've murdered it. It's over. It's done. They stood with Vic, and then these people tried to destroy it. Now, this sounds like doom and gloom. I know. Lots of conventions have had Vic and are doing great. Kitchener, great. Right? All of the conventions Vic did last year, he did a lot of them post KamehamehaCon. They're doing wonderful. KamehamehaCon was it was a test case, right? DBZ, Broly related. Vic crushed it. He made like $30,000-$40,000 at that convention. He had lines all day, every day, out the door. They had to have the fire marshal in to shut down the line for times because it was getting too long and literally dangerous. If a fire broke out, people would die or whatever. That's how many people went to KamehamehaCon. KamehamehaCon was a massive success for Vic. But look what they did to it after. But it's not the norm, right? But look what they did to it. Why do you think an industry professional won't stand up and support Vic? Look what they did to Ruben Langdon for being neutral. For Ruben saying, yeah, I'm going to wait for some evidence. Oh my God. Oh my God. By the way, I talked to a very specific VA, and I won't name him. I should, but I'm not gonna. And he said the same thing to me. He made a neutral statement. He said, Vic deserves his day in court. He said, but you leave me the fuck out of it. You leave my name out of it. You deserve your day in court. I've never seen anything bad about Vic. He deserves his day in court because this is nonsense. You know, or maybe it's true and they get a chance to prove it, but you leave me out of it. Because he knows. He knew for a fact what would happen if people heard that he was neutral. This is not a guy saying, Vic's innocent, Vic's perfect, you know, blah, 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 blah. He said, Vic deserves a day in court. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say my name associated with that. That's the industry. That's the industry. Hey, what's up, that Star Wars girl? How you doing? You know, hey, that Star Wars girl, I had to watch episode 1 with my kids the other day, and I was weaving a noose. out of fibers from a jacket the entire time. Just to be clear on what was going on there. So I blame you for that. By the way, that Star Wars girl, I mentioned this a long time ago. Someday we need to collab and have you try, and maybe like Ethan Van Sciver try to convince me to like Star Wars. I think that'd be a great show. I don't care where we do it. Where we all like get drunk or whatever, and you guys try and convince me to enjoy Star Wars. Ryan K says, Ron, hitting her with a remote was enough for her to take you to court and divorce you. Someone get another pebble for this idiot's skull because the one that was in there has turned to dust and fallen out. Okay, anyway, sorry. I'm tangenting way too much. We've got to get through these. Oh my God. Let's see. I wonder why. I just told you, Ron. I just told you why. And you know that's, well, you might not know because you're an idiot. I wonder if you overestimated your position and advised a person to sue, and now that person is going to owe over $500K when it's all over, and more when he loses a cross appeal on fees. This, no matter what, Vic may not win on appeal, right? Like, that's the reality of the appeals court, as is the reality with the district court. As I said from the beginning, he may not win. There's a lot of things that go into it. And at the appeals court, he may not win. I am really confident that Vic will not lose the cross appeal on fees. It's, of course, remotely possible, and maybe that's why Ron is grabbing onto it so hard. The likelihood of winning the cross appeal on fees is really, really low because Chup did the thing that judges do, and that's using his discretion to determine the fee amount. And they get a lot of leeway on what that discretion is. And the court is reluctant to use an abuse of discretion on a fee award. It's a hard thing for the appeals court to say that Judge Chup improperly determined the amount of fees, especially when the total amount of fees is 6 figures for a TCPA, which is supposed to be cheap. A pre-trial motion to reduce cost. So good luck with that. Good luck with that. But again, overestimated my position and advised a person to sue? I don't know where Ron is coming up with this. This might be defamatory if Ron were capable of causing damage to me, which he's not. I don't recall advising anybody to sue. I'm not Vic's attorney. And I don't know that Vic's attorney advised him to sue either. And Ty, I would recommend not answering that, of course, because it's funnier if you don't. But it's amazing that Vic thinks, or that Ron thinks that this occurred based on literally nothing. So, all right, here we go. My response: you admitted to the facts in your affidavit, dimwit. Vic denied his. Maybe you forgot, but Vic's dismissal didn't go to the merits or facts of any affidavit. In your case, the court found it true. Stop beating women. Stop abusing people, you awful thing. Did he though? Lol. Would you like the receipts? Did he? Vic denied his. Yes, he did. Absolutely. It's in all sorts of documentation that Vic denied the things in the affidavit. In fact, Mike the Tuba Dumford was even talking about how in Vic's affidavit, he denied the facts of Faisal Ahmad's affidavit. Yes, he denied all of it. Even in his initial apology, the ill-advised apology, he still denied everything. Everything bad. The only thing he admitted to was hugging people and being friendly. That's it. Or did you miss the entire lawsuit? 17-0, wink face. Again. Or did you fail to investigate his public statements? No, you did, apparently. Public videos. Again. And history prior to sending him to your family estate attorney? Well, it's not my family estate attorney. Whatever. After raising money for him, prior to him consenting to you raising the funds? Wink face. I don't think Ron read that very well. Ron, you'll find this out. Ron can't read or understand talking. Ron can't read or understand talking. He's giving me a lot of credit raising money for Ron. For Vic. I didn't raise money for Vic. I put a place for people to give the money. And the bulk of the money came in after Vic affirmed that that was legitimate. And then people raised it themselves. I'm the worst salesperson on the planet. I'm the worst grifter on the planet. I'm the worst everything. Speaking of which, since I'm so bad at this, I never mentioned, if you join the Patreon or New Project 2, you get access to the Discord, and it's great. Or if you are a channel member, you get access. Channel memberships currently do not give access to the Discord, although someone says that I can. I don't know how to do it yet because I'm a boomer. But you do get access to the cooking streams, previews of videos as well. Some of those previews are, 12, 13 to 24 hours in advance of the video actually going live. So if you want to be the first to see content on this channel, you can either join the channel, you can join the Patreon, or you can join New Project 2. And we also have chats and stuff. So see, bad salesman. I always forget to say that, but there it was. There's a sales pitch for you. I didn't contest the stuff in my court case. I knew I messed up. I wasn't going to quibble over their opinion versus mine. Remember this line. Remember this line. Oh, shoot. GoFundMe. I forgot about the GoFundMe. Thank you for reminding me, chat. We're at $276,440. Matthew Reams, Kenneth Williams, Joe Stonebreaker. What the hell? Your name is manly as shit. Good job. Philip Kilroy, Chris White. Thank you guys for donating. Especially Joe Stonebreaker, the breaker of stones. I wasn't going to quibble over their opinion versus mine. Remember that line. I haven't tried to make what I did in the past come across as anything other than unacceptable. Except in this conversation, right? Except in this conversation. I disagree with your use of beating my wives. Oh, suddenly, but that is your opinion. Suddenly, he's trying to make it something other than unacceptable. Well, I didn't beat them. Why not? Like, what about your physically striking them is not beating? And why is that important to you? It's pretty important to them. But I still condemn that action. It was unacceptable. Then why are you mitigating it? You don't condemn it at all. You don't. This little dwarf monster doesn't think what he did was bad. He's saying the words and not believing them. It was still unacceptable, but it wasn't beating. Well, what was it? Why wasn't it beating? Why is it important to you that it wasn't beating? Because it's pretty damn important to Ron that it wasn't beating. That much is obvious. That much is obvious. It's important that that wasn't a beating, right? Who I was in 2012 was unacceptable. Who you are now is unacceptable. But with work, dedication, and ownership, here I am. Smiley face. I will let those who know me defend me. Smiley face. I mean, I don't see them running out to defend him in all honesty, but you didn't take a guess at who one of my biggest supporters was. Is that because it won't fit your narrative? I don't have a narrative on this, Ron. It's just reality. Also, did you weigh in on people being able to change? There's so many Monica jokes in that 2-sentence paragraph. 17-0, brah. Brah. Yes, he did. In his public statement and at deposition. Do you have trouble reading or listening? Here you are, still trying to mitigate the fact that you're a violent piece of shit. It's amazing that now it's quibbling over an opinion. How can you possibly claim to be better if you can't even admit what you admitted to 8 years ago? Did you lie then or now? I have. Did you miss that point? Would you like me to screenshot it for reference? Look up a few sentences and you will see. My past is a testimony for me. I don't know what that even means, in all honesty. You can try to use it to make me look bad. Oh, Ron, you don't need my help. But it just affords me the opportunity to share what it takes to change. I don't think you know. I don't think you've changed at all. And no, he didn't. He quibbled over wording, lol. I did X, but I don't like the way it sounds when you say it like that. Sound familiar? How many times did he mention he cheated on his fiancée? I can't remember exactly. Was it possibly 50 times? He actually didn't know. And he didn't say cheated on her that many times. He said he maybe violated her trust or something like that. But again, look at him trying to decontextualize that disaster of a relationship. Jason Alator says, what Ron is doing now shows he is afraid. He knows the jug up, and he is acting like a cockroach or a soy roach in his case. Oh, wait, that is giving roaches a bad name. Don't step on roaches. Ask Colorado. I love this. By the way, he quibbled over wording, lol. I didn't contest this stuff in my court case. I knew I messed up. I wasn't going to quibble over their opinion versus mine. Sorry. You're literally quibbling over wording. Vic categorically denied all of the assault allegations or sexual assault allegations. You're a moron. Cheated on his fiancée. Ron, you beat your wife and threatened to murder her dogs. Vic was in an almost commitment. They weren't married. You also know there's more to that story. Or did Monica leave that out as well? She trusts you so much. She tells you everything except the giant list of things she doesn't. 17-0, smiley face. Come on, Ron. Come on, Ron. Don't be so transparent. That's an embarrassing reply. Better hope the appeals court agrees with Chup. I would hate to have to laugh at you on the internet. That was a lie from me. I would love to laugh at him on the internet. 17-0 was tragic for you. 34-0 will be devastating. 36-0 will be outright embarrassing. So this is him thinking they're going to win on those fee appeals here. How much money did you light on fire for your friend? None. I don't light money on fire. I spend it on cool stuff. I did have a question on a topic you seem to be an expert on. When Jay showed you your spot at the kiddie table and encouraged you to let the adults speak, was that a perfect example of you getting cucked? No. Literally no. This is sad. No, Ron, that's not getting cucked. Getting cucked is when you watch your fiance confide in other people the emotional issues she should trust you with, but can't because you're a monster. It's also when Vic walked between you and her and you had to carry the snack tray. So, there we go. I don't know how he doesn't get this. Lol. So what you're saying is you got cucked. Nope. Again, reading comprehension, not the strong suit here. Got it. Nice try with the recovery attempt. You get a gold star. Smiley face. 17-0. Sounds pretty alpha to me. Wink face. That's not what I said at all. No wonder you're so confused. I don't think you know what alpha means in this context. Or any context. Rational inference. Wink face. I am just not as well versed in trivial things like that. I know you seem to love it since you talk about it all the time, but I get it now. Ron, it's an insult. It's literally, I'm just insulting you. Whatever you assume to be alpha is the exact opposite. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Imagine being Ron, right? Imagine saying, I'd rather be a cuck with Monica than without her, and purporting to know what alpha is. Oh, he's gonna kill me. He's trying to kill me. No wonder you've been pushing all your crap as a win. Everything is clearer now. Ron, there's a lot to unpack in your masochism. If it's so trivial, why are you bothering to engage in it? Right? This is a valid question. Interesting question. Why did you, wink face? That's just an idiotic response. You made the assertion it was trivial after engaging in it. I didn't say anything about it at all. Is it comforting to lie about everything? Or is it how you deal with that looming invoice? I understand, even more now, why Jay assigned you to the kiddie table. When you connect the dots, get back with me. You think an insult from Jay Woolman bothers me? I think you overestimate his value. Pretty funny, you think the guy who was fired by Alex Jones for losing consistently in his defamation case is somehow the arbiter of lawyers. Ron, what's it like bowing to the whims of other men? And I just want to point out that Jay Woolman and Mark Randazza, superstar First Amendment attorneys, the go-to name in the First Amendment, worshipped by Law Twitter, were fired by Alex Jones for losing every single issue that they litigated. All of them. And importantly, that's not actually a criticism of Jay Woolman or Mark Randazza. Although you have a news source talking about a public event and you can't, and losing a bogus jurisdiction argument, that might be familiar to Jay very soon. And then just getting absolutely hollowed out by judges left and right on Alex Jones's cases, to the point where Alex Jones fires the most famous Nazi defenders on the planet to hire 2 other lawyers to take his case. And we're supposed to assume, for some reason, that Jay Woolman is like a water-walking defamation attorney? I mean, I guess. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm supposed to believe that, but there you go. Whew. All right, next. please tell me, because you are the man who raised money for a guy. Please tell me, I guess, bowing to the whims of other men. This is funny, right? Because this goes against his narrative. Because you are the man who raised money for a guy you had to beg to take the money. Oh, I had to beg him. I thought I did it without his consent and forced him to take it. And I thought I convinced him to do the lawsuit. Which one is it, Ron? Was I begging or was I commanding Vic to do it? Convince him to use your friend. Oh, you're right. That's true. I actually stuck my gun through the phone and I said, listen here, you Italian pile of spaghetti. You will hire Ty Beard or I will put some bullets in your marinara. Helped him lose historically bad. I didn't help him. Cried on live stream. There was no crying involved. About not being able to post photos of you hanging out. That's because people like you will use it to hurt him. That's the problem. People like you will use those photos to hurt him. That's the issue here, Ron. You people are disgusting. Talk about how handsome he is. He's objectively better looking than you, Ron. I'm pretty sure he didn't have to beat your girlfriend to make out with her. Just saying. And get drunk every night so you can stay up late and hang with the He-Man woman hater crew. That's the weirdest one. First of all, I'm rarely drunk. I'm rarely drunk. Getting drunk every night would be exhausting. I don't need alcohol to help me stay up late. Alcohol actually makes it harder for me to stay up late, you weirdo. I stay up late because I have a legit neurological disorder called narcolepsy, which changes my sleep patterns. Thank you for being an ableist piece of shit. But you go. You do you. He-Man woman hater crew. That's you guys, I guess. I guess you all hate women. So. I want him to get on her, I said here, and say, yes, I did. That's called honesty, Ron. I hope you catch that. I wanted, probably not going to happen. I wanted Vic to come on my show and say some things. I wanted him to call out weasels like you. I wanted him to call Monica fat. I thought that would be really funny. Could you imagine the butthurt of Vic Mignogna going on my live stream and calling your girlfriend a fat, horse-faced pile of trash? I think there would be nothing funnier on the planet than something like that. Now, he's not going to, and he probably shouldn't, but God, it would be riotously hilarious. Like Michael Douglas in Falling Down. When he's just done with the world, he can come on here and make all of the fat jokes in the world about your extra wide fiance. That'd be fine. That'd be great. Should I go on or do you remember that? Oh, I remember it well. I stand by everything I said that night, aside from the insults I made to my friend, which I apologized to him for personally. My attitude got the better of me, and I apologized. And we have reconciled that. But I stand by my statements about what I wanted him to do. Because I thought that would be the best move for him. Some of them were obviously too far jokes. But no, I definitely wanted him to come on my show and to address the audience. I wanted that. I still do. I still think it'd be great. We might disagree on that, and that's okay. And by we, I mean you guys and me and Vic and me. We can have disagreements about stuff. That's fine. But that's what I think. I have lots of thoughts that people either agree or disagree with. That's okay too. I missed one of these Justice Chats earlier. Caithness Barbarian says, hey, about 10 minutes behind and I got to the Highland Park bit. I live a boat ride to Kirkwall. Have you ever tried Old Pulteney? It's also distilled this far north. If not, how would one send you a bottle? I've never tried Old Pulteney, but I would love to. Please email me. Please email me and I will get you some delivery instructions. If you would like to send a bottle, I would be humbled. Humbled. Gay and Still Large says, I guess you all hate women. Well, he's got me there. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Or better yet, please, dear God, say you. That has to ring a bell. It does. Let me address this. In the deposition video, of Vic's deposition, I famously say to Vic, please, dear God, say you didn't pull her hair, right? And then Vic says something about playfully tugging at her hair, right? It's a great self-owned moment. There's a problem, though. There's an actual problem with that. If you pay attention to the live stream, that is out of the chronological order of the actual deposition. I skipped to the next video for that portion. He had actually addressed in the prior portion that he took issue with the word pulling and tugging first before he said that. If you're in the actual, and this is in the transcript from the deposition, you can see it play out this way. And if you follow along with the video, you'll be confused because, and I was actually confused too when I went to the next video and it looked like something before. But you can actually follow along and notice that Vic addressed my concern prior to what I said because I had skipped to the next video because there were like multiple video files there. Their biggest gotcha is based more on me boomering what happened than what actually happened. But, you know, they all pay very close attention to everything, right? What's funny is even Law Twitter doesn't talk about that. Even Law Twitter, who all definitely read the transcript and watched the deposition videos and all that, they just watched that clip because they're unthorough liars. I get to own that. That's fine. That's fine. By the way, I still think he should have said he didn't pull her hair because he didn't pull her hair. Even by his own description, he was bouncing her hair this way, not this way. But, you know, say it. Con sluts. Do you know where I can get a con slut? Preferably one with a strap on, because I don't like doing the work. Here, spelling mistake. I know those mean so much to you. Wink face. Ron, everything you say means more to me. I don't think he gets this joke. This is a high level joke for Ron. Sometimes you tell jokes that are above the grade level of the audience, and this joke is above the grade level of the audience when the audience is Ron. So, smiley face. Now, this is important. I want to lay out the chronology here. So Wednesday at 11:11 p.m., he sent me this, right? Thursday, because I was busy Thursday. I teach on Thursday. I have to do lots of driving around with my kids on Thursday, and I'm busy for the majority of the day. And then I went to cook dinner, so while I was cooking the rice, I ended up making a fried rice dish. While I was cooking the rice, I'd gotten the rice in the rice cooker and hit start. I pulled out my phone because I had a few minutes before I had to start cooking the rest of it. And I see this. And so I type my response, 5:47 p.m. Immediately, I'm talking within 20 seconds, I get ellipses that Ron is responding. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good, right? This is gonna be great. I can't wait to see this idiot's response. That'll be just wonderful. And for 3 minutes, these ellipses pop up, disappear, pop up, disappear, pop up, disappear. 3 minutes later, I get a 2-character smiley face. This pussy was waiting all day for this response. He was ready for it. He was waiting, and he didn't know what to say for 3 solid minutes, and all I got was an emoji. Oh, boy. It was the most pathetic thing. Amazing. You waited all day for me to respond, and it took you 3 minutes of typing and deleting for a 2-character emoji. What chapter of one of your useless pop psych books covered that? Does it bother you that as evidence that you are better, you say, at least I didn't threaten to murder anyone this time, just assault. What an improvement. And then, emoji again. And this, my friends, is the end of this Ronversation. This is what we've got for now. So... I don't know when the next one will be. I never know, right? I never know when the next Ronversation will occur. It's usually around a filing of some sort. What I have noticed is that people have started, a few people, very few people, have started to complain that I'm sharing the DMs of Ron. That's a scummy thing for me to do. Let me just address that complaint real quick, because this is important. This is important. Ron... No, let me start this over. Let me start this statement over. I'm going to say that statement in a second. It would be scummy of me to share a conversation in which someone and I are speaking honestly and candidly and having an honest exchange of ideas that is meant to be in private. Okay? That would be scummy. Ron, from the start of this conversation, 100% expected this to be public. 100% expected this to be public. He crafted a narrative. That's why he says 17-0 so much. That's why he acts the way he does. This leads us to a very interesting conclusion, okay? Let's peel back some logic here. It would be scummy to share private DMs when the other side looks like a scumbag, right? That's the idea. That's the problem with sharing private DMs, is that the other side looks like a scumbag in the private DM. So, well, it's not really fair to share their private DMs, blah, 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 blah. Now, extrapolate that with Ron knows these DMs are being shared. And he has known for a long time. Of course he knows. People will talk to him. He even said, people were mad at me for messaging you. The only way people are mad at Ron for messaging me is if people know that Ron's messaging me, and that's because these videos are out there, right? So now, let's logically put together the events. These conversations are out on video, and everyone can see how Ron looks. It would be scummy to leak them if Ron looked like an absolute piece of shit monster. Ron knows these are being leaked. If Ron knows they're being leaked, he would want to not look like a piece of shit monster. Ron thinks he doesn't look like a piece of shit monster. That's the logic chain here. If you leak these, you're bad because the other person looks bad. Ron continues to engage because Ron doesn't think he looks bad in this. And that is the sweetest nectar I can come up with. That is fantastic to me, and I love it. He is completely unaware. By the way, according to these people, Vic doesn't go to cons, or when he goes to cons, people don't show up. They don't understand that Vic is extremely successful at conventions because of you guys. Because Vic's fans come out to see him. Vic's fans travel to see him. They pay, VIP prices and stuff to see him. They legitimately don't understand that that's actually happening. They think that when Vic shows up, no one does. They think that Vic is somehow worse off than being canceled from every convention except one. That's what they think right now about his status. They think that he is worse off than he was in February of 2019. Now, they have an abject disconnect with reality, and it's beautiful to witness. But it's also terrifying. Anyway. All right, guys. That's what we've got for these. Let's hit that GoFundMe one more time. Let's hit it one more time, then Ron hits his wife. We're still at the $276,440. Thank you all for contributing. Remember to go ahead and share that. If you can't contribute, the shares help dramatically. They really do. And it will be up there through the conclusion of proceedings, whatever that may be, right? It will always be available for the donations. So there you go. There you go. All right. Let's do this number. And we are going to read some justice chats. We're going to read some super chats. We're going to have a good evening. And make sure, if you guys do leave right now, a couple things. I will be on Twitch in just a little bit after this stream ends, which will probably be in about 30 minutes or so. And I will also have a video coming out tomorrow morning, I believe. I believe it'll be the morning about Donald Trump suing CNN. So give that video a watch. It is, I think, less than 10 minutes long, somewhere around 10 minutes. Yeah, something like that. It's another one of the short videos. If you guys like the short videos, please like them, comment on them, and share them for other people to watch. I can't express how much that helps the channel with growth and stuff like that. So if you like them, tell me you like them. If you don't like them, tell me you don't like them. But there will be a Trump suing CNN video out tomorrow. And then also tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time, I'll be on Inver's Twitch channel. We will be doing D&D and Cat Dragon Girl Daki Makura, your waifu for lifu with a whole bunch of fireball and pyrotechnic spells, will be out there being the Mary Sue of her own story. So come check that out as well. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's do this. Chaircoon the Great says, Nick, have you considered saving your whiskey boxes to sign and give away to viewers and supporters? That would be a good idea. The problem with saving whiskey boxes is transporting them. They're big. Like if I'm going to a con, right, and I have like 10 of these, that would be a bunch of space to take up. Maybe I could break it down. Oh, I mean, this does break down. Holds down nice. Maybe I'll start doing that. We'll see. I don't know. I've got some. You can't have my wooden Middleton one, though, because that's a disaster to transport. Ty, I didn't actually make the character. So the DM made that character and assigned her to me. So I take no responsibility for it. In Lemoyne's voice say, oh, you touch my tra-la-la. Ding, ding, dong. Oops, I did it again. I played with your heart. Got lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me whiz. J-Man the Dual Blade says, Nick, you're a good guy, but why do you associate with people who dox and backstab like Gothic Sushi and her cronies like Kayla? Especially after people have tried to dox you. You're better than these parasites. I haven't seen them try to dox anyone, but I'm not responsible for other people's actions. I associate with a ton of people and I can't keep track of everything they do, and I won't be responsible for everything they do. So, that being said, if you don't like what they do, then don't associate with them. I'm not going to police the actions of people that I know through the internet or whatever. It's just too much time. Sorry. If you don't like that, take it up with them, not with me. That nerd Derek says, sent a DM with the link to my friend's GoFundMe on Discord. Okay, let's take a look at that. Here it is. Oh my goodness. So the Unveiled Faces Artist Collective. This is the GoFundMe people were talking about. I'm going to spam it in chat. You guys can take it as you will. Here it is. You can check out that GoFundMe if you want. I don't know anything about it. I can share a link to a GoFundMe. I can't endorse it unless I know the people behind it and the story behind it, because that's me saying something is legitimate, and I can't say that here, but you guys can check it out. Sounds like an interesting process or project. All right, next. Gamer Hands Jr. NC says, really love the way you own Ron. Here's $5 for a glass of whiskey on me. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Gamer Hands Jr. INC. Gamer Hands Jr. Inc. Oh, not NC. Gamer Hands Jr. Inc. says, also, Mr. Beard wants you to say it. I don't know what, but say it. It was con sluts. Have you ever referred to a woman as a con slut? No. That's one of my favorite moments from Vic's deposition. The abject horror that these nasty, disgusting people who do look at women and call them con sluts thought that Vic did too. And they thought that would happen. They thought he would say yes to that's how he sees people. Oh my God. I don't think it was how embarrassing. Ty Beard loves it when I say con slut. Loves it when I gargle or cough in the middle like con slut. Ugh. Yeah, it's not really in Vic's character though to say that. It's just, even if you think he's a monster, he doesn't talk that way. It's funny how that works. Okay, Demon Kabuto 1590 says, I bet when Ron told jokes to any of his exes, they didn't find it remotely funny. Ichigo Shirasaki 276 says, gonna have to catch the show tomorrow. Got work. Bought a bottle of Wild Turkey 81 proof. Looking forward to it. Oh, good. Next time buy Wild Turkey 101 and drink twice as much. Just kidding. Don't do that. Duden 2217 says, election went Chup in flames. How embarrassing. Look, there was someone in the comments who claimed a little bit of responsibility for how that election went down. And I don't know the validity of that, but they basically said when they saw how Chup handled a courtroom, they started literally campaigning against him. Here's the thing with judges. Their campaigns are so small. Their campaigns are so small and focused that people campaigning against them actually do make a difference. They make a real difference. It's funny. I don't know this to be the case, but it is entirely possible that Chup's decision in Vic's case caused him to get such a pathetic turnout in the appeals court. Because there are people out there who decided, nope, I don't like this guy. I live in Tarrant County, and I'm actually going to tell other people not to vote for him. And that's fantastic. Let's see. Damon Dog says, yesterday my family had to put down our little 2-year-old puppy. Oh, God, that sucks. Been really hard on everyone. Just want to thank you for all the laughter your streams bring to help cheer me up. Man, I'm sorry, buddy. That putting down little puppies sucks, you know. Putting down an old dog sucks too because they've been friends with you forever or whatever. But putting the puppies down, it's like a lost potential thing, and I feel bad for you. I've had to do it myself. James B says, you and Vic got me to go to Kitchener Con. First con I ever went to, and I will go again if they invite you both back. Also, Ron is a wife beater. Also, that was my first super chat. Love your work. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Very much appreciated. Glad to get you out to Kitchener, and hopefully you will be going back next year. But I'm telling you guys, my personal quest is to get back to Hawaii Con this year, because I can think of no better thing on earth than going to conventions in Hawaii. They're beautiful, they're magical, and they're a ton of fun. And if you guys, let me offer this. If you guys want a real great experience, I don't even know what their guest list is. I don't know anything. Start saving money for Hawaii Con. Start saving money. Whoever's on their guest list, you will get to spend a ton of time with them. You'll be in paradise. There's great food. It's great fun. And there's great activities in an environment that couldn't be better. Go to Hawaii Con. Go to Hawaii Con. Ty, start saving those dollary dues, buddy, because I'm going to get back to Hawaii Con, and I'm going to drag you and the missus with me and my missus, and we're going to go have a nice time in paradise. I don't care. Don't talk about work either. Oh, I got so much to do. Shut up. Shut up. Omega Hybrid says, Nick, it's my son's first birthday. Oh, that's so cool, man. Congratulations. Congratulations. No, you can't see the USS Arizona. That's in Honolulu. This probably won't be in Honolulu. That's where Kauai-Con is, owned by Faisal Ahmed. And if you go to that one, I will uppercut you in the junk. Bad Vibe says, Ron beats dead horses with a remote. Seriously. Oh my goodness. No one important says, I was convinced he was an abuser when he tried to pull that he must text me BS. Who the heck does that? Might as well put a leash on the guy. To be fair, Ron might be into having a leash on. Some nobody says, Ron gets fisted by a horse. How is he good? Oh my God. Some nobody says, if I make horse jokes, drink you fugats. Ooh. Infernal Iris, I don't know if Vic's been invited to Anime Matsuri this year. If he has, I would assume he'd be on the guest list, but I don't think he's on there yet, so I have no idea. Freighter J says, have you encountered an attorney who introduced themselves as doctor? I did, and he was laughable. Was it Mike Dunford? Skagi Onsai says, cluster B personality disorder, more like cluster B. Ron is a supreme cluster fluffy, let me tell you. Someone needs to boomerang a remote at him. Some nobody says he also made fun of human poop head to toe. He's also made of human poop head to toe. No one important says Ron has spent more time with Nick than Vic by now. Oh, that's depressing. Go back to bothering Vic, Ron. Tacos for hire for Taco says a few people brought up his abuse 101. So plot twist, what if all this was via Ron's semi-manipulation of Monica? I mean, she hasn't married him yet. I was tempted at the beginning to think that Monica might be a victim in this. And it's remotely possible now that she is a victim in this, but I think that she's in it. I think she's in it. The Sean 203 says, remember I said about the black female lawyer in Okinawa? Her name is Annette Eddie Callaghan. Call again. Call again? That's a lawyer name if I've ever heard one. You get in touch with her about law in Japan. Okay. Some nobody says Horsica is keeping him at 4 legs length. Some nobody says nay means nay, Ron. Nay. Wanda Maximoff says Monica's teeth are bigger than her lies. Oh, ouch. King Varian says he's probably sitting on Monica's strap-on. Marius Van says Gretzky wine is as bad as the whiskey. Why would you ever buy anything with a celebrity name on it? To be fair, the John Wayne whiskey's pretty good. The Duke Bourbon, that's pretty good. Matt Field says, so do you come here often, Chair Coon? Buy you a drink? Want to come back to my place? Oh, Chair. I'll get you his number. Blaine 20 says, Ron's dead name is coronavirus. Fat Goat says, for Chair. Madeline Armstrong says, Nick, forgive me if you talked about this. I've heard a plethora of theories as to motive behind everyone trying to get rid of Vic. What's your take? Thanks for all you do. I think it's a combination of things. A real mixing, melting pot of things, a confluence of events, if you will. But I think the VAs behind it were afraid that Vic was about to get a job as a director at Funimation, and he would have actual casting and directing authority over them, as well as, some permanence in his actual role. I believe this because I've heard it from more than one people within Funimation that Vic was on the list, and that is likely why he moved to Dallas. The understanding was he would be moving into that director job, and that suddenly he would have a lot to say about these people, and they hated him. They hated him. They didn't like his politics. They didn't like he was more popular with fans. They didn't like that he's successful. They didn't understand why he looks at fans like they're people, why he responds to emails, why any of this, why he doesn't just look at them like the disgusting dollar signs that they can fleece and then bathe in Purell. I mean, that's the Monica Schemmel Sabbat way. Don't even talk about Jamie Markey. But yeah, they don't understand why he actually liked people. And they don't like his Christianity. They don't like that he's relatively conservative. They don't like it. Caging Runt, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining. Very much appreciate having you here. No One Important says, yeah, just hate how Monica and Jamie are the prime example of survivors of rape. And they are awful people that think that much less try to ruin someone for it. Of course, they didn't survive anything. Kilroy was here, says Ron Soye somehow forwards the evolution of our species by pushing the limits of human patience. Pixlexia says, are you addicted to shaving your face to that halfway point of looking kind of creepy instead of shaving your face clean? Yeah, I don't actually like shaving my face clean. I'm not a big fan of it. The reason I shaved so much, I was actually just trimming, and it was here, right here. I got too close with the trimmer and I had a line, so I actually had to shave it down. I was really annoyed. I wasn't actually meaning to go this bare. Edimos 1000 says, speaking from personal experience, you are never fully recovered. It's a lifelong fight. You participated, therefore you are never freed from it. Agree, brother. Agree. Vast Game Master says, my name is Nick Rekieta and I like lollies. Oh, no. Duke the Luke says, bittersweet, but at least Vic got a better idea on who his true friends are. The thin-skinned people who were never his true friends all exposed themselves at once as horse-toothed snakes. Curious Items Inside says, Ron and Chunk have a lot in common. Both are aggressive, hate-filled, delusional losers, and both have a bizarre love of horses. Matthew Ford says, Ron is dumb and his IQ is low as low T Greg. Oh, ouch. CJ says, I played a chanter on the Wrath and AB. Oh yeah, of course you were on AB, right? Don't you Euro. The Euros on our server were to be despised. Not due to racism or xenophobia, but due to that aggressive scheduling. They got a 6-hour head start on spawn times. Nobody says, I emailed you 2 parody songs for Ron too, Nick. Oh no. Fox McLeod says, does Ron not understand how often abuse victims return to their abusers? The answer is no. Does Ron not understand? The answer is yes. Ron does not understand. That is correct. Chengiz Khan says, when Ron inevitably beats Monica, I won't feel an ounce of pity for her at all. She'd get what she deserves. Damn. No One Important says, more like Kukmea Khan. Am I right? SM Scorix 89 says, RockCon went under after having Vic last year. Rip. Aw, that's too bad. Angel Grunt says, if it wasn't for Empire Strikes Back, the Star Wars franchise would enjoy zero regard. Wow. Phoenix Lord Asserman says, I know this is off topic, but any chance on a Doug stream? Losing SGM today must have been awful for him. I'm not opposed to having Doug back on. I know a lot of people have issues with Doug, and that's their issue. That's not the reason I haven't had him on. I would love to have Doug on for a show at some point in the future, in the near future here. I'll have to talk to him, see if we can come up with a good topic for it. And if you guys don't like the Doug show, a show with Doug, that's fine. That's okay. But we'll see. I don't know. Got to talk to him about it. Next, no one important says, Ron, you don't get it. You don't get to decide when you are done getting better, especially with these people, or how ironic you feel you can tell others that. A Stars Girl Forever says, you're doing God's work trying to enlighten people like Ron. When Judgment Day comes, they won't be able to claim no one told them the truth. Warwick says, when is Drexel coming on next? Whenever he's got time, man. Here's how the Drexel streams tend to work. Drexel will let me know usually on a Thursday if I'm lucky, if not a Friday, that he has his kid wants to hang out with my kid, and he's able to come out to my place. That's how it works. Like, these things, this confluence of events has happened, so now I'm gonna come out and hang out with you guys. And I'm like, yeah, cool, man, as long as we're in town. And then you know, he comes on the show. So when is he coming on next? I don't know. Next time he's available. Sprite Cola says, quick, does anyone know the number for 911 in Minnesota? Nick is choking on Ron's stupidity. Have I ever done a proper Maddox versus Masterson lol suit post-mortem? I did a kind of a weak one a while back. I really should do like a full hour-long one, maybe, that really gets into each point. But I don't know how to structure it, so I'll think about it though. I'll think about it. I need more. According to YouTube, I need more content like that. More like history of some sort of thing, or a recap where people can come back to it and it will always be relevant, because it's not like a current event thing. They have phrases for all this and it's weird, but yeah. Kilroy was here, says Ron wouldn't know alpha. Vic punched him in the face. LMAO, God, he's not even a beta male, he's a zeta male. Oh, damn. Genghis Khan says Ron is beyond a beta male that attempts to be alpha by being a freaking abusive monster. I love your scared sacred cow. Sent me a weird emoji. Thanks. Is that a Corona Chan victim? Edemos 1000 says, I wonder if he handed Chup the snack tray. TLJ Screwjob says Italian pile of spaghetti. When is Stone Cold Steve Austin coming on your show? I don't know if Stone Cold would like my show because I'm not a beer drinker. Not a beer drinker. Can I get an oh hell yeah, brother? Let's see. Sakaki Onsai says we need Ty Beard on again. We're missing him. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Ty's been very busy lately. He's welcome on the show, of course. Of course, welcome on the show. It just has to be, you know, he has to have time. And we need a topic, and I need to not have something else that is pending. All of the again, events just need to work out. Stephen T says, you know, he mad when he's using so many smiley and winky faces. That is definitive sign of butthurt. He's raging typing every one of those messages. And guys, if you go onto Ron's thread on the Kiwi Farms, you can find out that Ron has self-identified that emojis are a coping mechanism for him having emotional problems. He uses the emojis to temper his emotional responses. So when Ron uses an emoji, by his own admission, he is literally triggered. He has identified that as his trigger. That's the funniest part of them. That is, oh, it's magnificent. Can I shill Blade Devil on Indiegogo? I'd like to have RGE on to do that. I'll reach out. I'll reach out to him. Last time I had him on, it was fun. So I'll have him on. We'll talk about Blade Devil and stuff like that. Fox McLeod says, What's wrong with thinking another man is handsome, Ron? Sounds pretty homophobic to me. Phoenix Lord Osserman says, I have the patriarchy. Timothy Reaper says, by the power of Numbskull, I have the power. He-Man woman hater. Ooh. Ooh. Sakagi Onsai says, it was a private consultation. No one heard him say. It was a private Ronversation. No one heard him say that bull that he was prepping for was just one room away. That's it, Sakaki, and you know it. That's it. Architect of Fate says, Ron is right, Nick. I realize now how much I hate women. Must be my internalized misogyny. I guess I need to go to room 101 for Ron's logic instruction. Vladimir M. Ivanovich says, for Ron, every week is spaghetti week. Nurmak1 says, He-Man Woman Hater Crew. According to Ron, I hate myself. Okay. Also, hi, Nick. Missed ya. It was my birthday yesterday. Oh, dang it. Happy birthday. I'm so sorry I didn't stream. I sounded terrible. And I don't like streaming when I sound like Jay Sean. It makes me feel like a failure at life. Parochial Joe says, all those winky faces Ron's sending you give me the impression that he wouldn't say no if you asked him for his private Snapchat. Please no. Rural says, who's a bigger boomer, you, Ty, or Vic? Vic. Vic likes to win, and I'll let him have that competition. Romeo Garbo says, Ron's a cuck. He can't understand common kindness. C-U-C-K. That's beautiful. Rex Havoc. Rex Havoc says, is it apparent Ron and Shane sound near identical? That's the rapid and unending ingestion of edamame. Atroxis Arcarin says, at least it had a happy ending. Smiley face. CJ Henderson says, thoughts on Justin Cook? What side do you think he's on? I'm not a fan. I don't know, man. There are industry professionals who would be blacklisted, right? VAs are independent contractors, and they can be tossed out. And then there are people who claim to be friends with someone who have power. They have power. To me, Justin Cook looks like a dude who's in a position where he could have stood up for Vic. And I don't know that he did. Hey, good night, Ty. I don't know that he did. So, you guys can make up your own mind on Justin Cook. But I look at a guy who has some executive level authority at Funimation. Stand by while his friend is absolutely destroyed by that company and by those people. And I wonder how much of a friend he is. That's what I got. Next, Wolven Hellpaw says, evening, counselor. Hey, what's up? Was a pleasure meeting you and your wife in Kitchener. She expressed an interest in the ginger beer. If you share that bottle, I can send an extra bottle or two should you enjoy them. Oh, man. I have it right here. It is going to be, I can't open it yet. It will be used on the next cooking stream, which is coming real soon. Real soon. The Outside In says, hey, Nick, studied psychology for a long time. Just wanted to say Ron definitely shows some signs of sociopathy, or at least signs of a personality disorder such as borderline personality disorder. Oh, yeah. I haven't studied psychology. I can tell you that the dude ain't right. Peggy the boy ain't right. Angry Baneling says, thanks for streaming today, Nick. I was prepared for a boring AF morning, but you done saved me from perpetual boredom. No more ASMR, though, please. Angry Baneling, this is for you. Thank you. James B says, yo, Nick, you missed my previous 2 super chats. No, I got them now. Got them now. Please go back for them. Do you think you would ever live stream you DMing this weirdo? I don't think we would get interactivity during the stream. I don't think that would happen. So, I would love to, but I can't guarantee that he would actually interact. Ron is an abusive man and a horrible person. Keep fighting, Nick. Hey, thanks. Dave Youngson says, how long till Ron's cross appeal has to be in? We'll see. We'll see. The Outside In says, my girlfriend was assaulted before we met. I have to be careful how I touch her or she cries. If Rial really was assaulted and this legal battle is a sign of the severity, she shouldn't have even been able to be in the same room as Vic. No, but she spent the next 12 years hugging him. Spent the next 12 years hugging him. Jason of the Great Awakening says, just occurred to me they probably have to watch all these streams and take notes, right? Oh, Spectre says they have until the 19th for the cross appeal. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's what they asked for. That's what they asked for and the court granted. They probably have to watch all these streams and take notes, right? I mean, they don't have to. They probably do. They don't have to. That's too bad. There's what? This episode 7 of Ronversations? Something like that? They're all about 3 hours long. What's that? 21? 21 billable hours? That's what? $400 an hour-ish? 21 times 400, that's $9,000. Glad I'm not paying the bills. Ex Varna says, being the Mary Sue of her own story, could just as easily have been describing Ron with that. Baron Julius Von Brunk says, hey, Nick, be a mensch and play my stop-motion Lego Simpsons video called Bort Samson. It's super violent. It'll take your mind off this drama. I will. I will check it out. James B says, ah, crap, you did get my super chat. Sorry, man. Hey, no problem. Listen, I'm not opposed to you sending more super chats, but I am sad that you sent one. My typical policy is I read the $20 super chats that come in, $20 plus right away, and the rest I go through in order later in the show. Demon Kabuto 1590 says, what is Ron's favorite amusement park? Universal Studios. Okay. Infernal Iris says, just curious, how long do you think Lemois would have if he ever meets Corona-chan? Oh, it'd be a matter of minutes. Angel Grunt says, do you expect the defendant's appeal brief will be as disingenuous and inflammatory as their trial court filings typically were? Probably not. Probably not. And then finally, Jason of the Great Awakening says, I studied psychology and AI. Ron's what we call a broken toy. And then finally, Rule 34 says, today at work, I remembered Struggle Snuggle again. I giggled in the middle of an important meeting. Damn you, grifter. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hate that. I sit and think of something. It's like, oh, dang it, that was funny. And I'm not supposed to laugh right now because I'm at a funeral or whatever. Oh, my goodness. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I will be over on Twitch in just a couple minutes. I just got to go grab something to eat. And we will see you. Then go over and join the chat on Twitch. And I will fire up the stream pretty soon. So thank you guys for hanging out again. We'll see you on Twitch tonight and hopefully tomorrow. Also check out that new Trump video coming out tomorrow. And we can talk more about how defamation cases are becoming a part of weaponizing the law for political campaigns. All right. Hope you guys have a good night. Peace. Peace. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and
and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art bag about more love for the spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the wide shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the wrong better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Dante to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed, so pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the wide shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the wrong better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now.